Z from Casa De Zeta. Today for dinner, we're gonna make asparagus and cheese stuffed chicken. I like the dark meat, so I'm gonna do some chicken thigh. But if you're more of a chicken breast person, you can do that as well. I'm gonna save this guy for just a minute. I really want to do the vegetables first, so we're just gonna set this aside, okay? Now I'm gonna be stuffing the chicken with asparagus and cheese, but you can't just have chicken, asparagus, and cheese. You gotta have some pasta on the side. Oh, sorry, that was scary. So I'm gonna chop up some mushrooms, then we'll do the asparagus next. So I just got some baby portobello mushrooms, and I'm just gonna slice them up real nice, and they're gonna go in my pasta once it's complete. So just get these guys all sliced up. And you don't really have to slice them very small. Mushrooms tend to kind of shrink as you cook them, so don't worry about one, them being perfectly cut, and two, too small, because then you might not even be able to see or taste your mushroom that's in your pasta. So I got my mushroom nice and chopped up. You see it? Okay, great. Now I'm gonna do a blended pasta. It's spinach and regular. I'm gonna throw that in my water. It's pretty warm. I need to get it just a little bit boiling. I don't want to throw the pasta in when it's not boiling because it'll get real pithy. Pithy is kind of like, for lack of a better word, limp. I don't know. It's just a word that we use. Pithy. Adapt it, adopt it, love it. So my water is boiling. I can take this time now to slice my asparagus. So I have some long stemmed asparagus, but I don't like to eat asparagus butts. So we're just gonna trim it ever so slightly. Now if you wanted to, you could actually save those for something else. I'm going to, because I'm gonna make another creation later. Just pop those in the freezer and they're good for a little while. So I'm gonna trim them about 2 inches, and we're gonna cut them like julienne. Okay, we're gonna put these to the side. We want them for later. Do you see they have a nice, just little edge to them? It's usually just for looks. It looks cool. I like it. I like my food to look cool. All right, so we're gonna put this up to the side. Water's boiling. Now, I really shouldn't do this whole package of pasta. And you might be asking, well, why? You're already cooking. Because I'm gonna eat the whole thing. And I can't afford to eat the whole thing right now. I got a race coming up. So we're only gonna do like a handful of pasta right now. And pasta freezes pretty well. This is fairly fresh pasta. So I'm just gonna put the remainder in the refrigerator and we'll use it for another creation. You probably wanna put that in a baggie as well so it doesn't get stale. Just FYI. So you can't say, well, Z told me to just throw it in the refrigerator and now it's all gross. No, put it in a Ziploc baggie. I'll do that after this video. So I have my pasta going. Now my vegetables are already cut. That's fantastic. I'm gonna work on the chicken now. Now you notice I'm leaving this cutting board all together, the knife, the vegetables, everything. The chicken has its own cutting board and its own knife. You do not want to cross-contaminate. I repeat, I wish I had flashing lights. Don't cross-contaminate. You're gonna get yourself sick, you're gonna get somebody else sick, and then you're never gonna wanna eat this delicious dish because all you can remember is being sick. So don't use the same cutting board, don't use the same knife. So I have my chicken thigh here, and I'm just gonna flip it over, and I'm gonna try to get it as thinned out as possible. So I'm just gonna cut along the edges. You can kind of see that it will roll itself out if you just go ever so slowly. Don't take your finger with it. And so it's kind of rolled out. You can see it's a longer piece of chicken now. And I'm just gonna score it. I'm gonna go one side, and then I'm gonna go against it. It's just gonna help kind of latch on to that asparagus and the cheese that we're gonna stuff it with. Alrighty, so I'm gonna wash my hands because I need to touch other stuff and I don't want all this chicken junk getting in there. So make sure you practice good kitchen hygiene. You wash your hands. You don't use same utensils and knives, so on and so forth. Okay, so now that my hands are clean, I have two different kinds of cheeses in here. I have some smoked Gouda cheese, and I also have some mozzarellas. Ooh, I'm losing a shoe. Okay, so I'm gonna drop a couple of in there. You don't want too much because it's just gonna ooze out and you're not gonna be able to taste any, and that's no fun. It's defeating the purpose. So I have a couple of cheeses there, and I'm gonna prop my asparagus right on top. Now before I start touching my chicken again, I'm gonna turn on this pan right here. I'm gonna cook the chicken two ways. I'm gonna sear it in the pan so it gets nice and crunchy. The outside is gonna get very crispy. And then we're gonna throw it in the oven so it can finish cooking. Chicken is not something you eat medium rare, so we want the whole thing to be cooked all the way through, but we want it to be crispy and crunchy. Okay, so I'm gonna roll. And now I have a lovely little chicken pack. I'm gonna throw the chicken in here. You can see that my grease is already hot. Oh, we've lost the cheese. So be very careful. We're just gonna stuff that in there before the grease destroys us. This is going back into the sink, and then I'm gonna wash my hands again. Okay, so we're gonna let it sear a couple minutes on each side. I'm gonna bring this back. Pasta's looking very, very good. I like my pasta a little bit al dente. It means like not super, super slimy. It still has a little bit of body to it. When I was little cooking with my mom, I remember we would test the spaghetti. If you threw it up and it stuck to the wall or the ceiling, that means it's ready. My ceilings are really high here, so we're not gonna do that because I'm the one that has to get it down. So we're not doing that trick today. But you are more than welcome to try it at home and comment on my video and let me know if it worked. If you like the pasta, the one that, don't eat the one from the roof though. But if you like the texture. Okay, so I need to roll this over just a little bit. And it's starting to get a little bit of color. So you see it's starting to cook through. Right? Put this over here away from everything else. Get myself a pasta spoon. Okay, this pasta is actually cooking very fast. It's looking really, really good. So I'm gonna take it off the heat. Dump it into my strainer that I have over here at the sink. Let it cool off just a little bit. And now, we're gonna take those mushrooms that we had, throw them into a pan. We're also gonna throw in about quarter stick of butter. Someone requested that I measure things, and I'm the worst measurer, you guys. But I'm trying because the point of a food video is for you to be able to create it at home. So about this much butter, throw it into the pan, let it melt just a minute. We're gonna create like a little sauce for our noodles. The butter's doing its magic. We're gonna continue to this chicken over. Butter's melting nicely. Now I usually use lemons for a dish like this, but unfortunately I forgot lemons. So, I know I have some limes over here. You might not be able to see what I'm reaching for. I have a ginormous bag of key lime. So I'm gonna take a couple of these and slice them up just in half. I have a really fun little hand squeezer for these. It's right here. You can find them at Walmart, Albertsons, any one of your local grocery stores. I'm gonna pop a couple of those in here and just give it a little flavor. I didn't mean literally throw them in there. Okay, so we're going to juice them. You can hear it sizzling. You don't want the butter on too high. It's really easy to burn butter. Get the rest of my lime. Throw these mushrooms in there, get them cooking, and they cook pretty fast, so we gotta multitask right now. Now I can see the color of my chicken is still looking really good. So I'm gonna flip it one more time. We're gonna add some seasoning to it. You're probably thinking this whole time, oh my gosh, this girl's cooking, doesn't put no seasoning on. So we're gonna do some pink Himalayan salt. And then I got this in Hill Country. If you haven't been there, Hill Country, Texas, you have to visit it. This is a super cool store. If you're a big foodie, it's awesome. Lots of jams, jellies, seasonings. This is smoked hot paprika. We're gonna throw a couple of pinches on there. One, it gives it a really nice color, and two, oh my god, it smells good, it tastes good. Right. Just turn that down a little bit because we are gonna start putting everything together. Our noodles are strained. We have our buttery mushrooms going. I'm going to bring the noodles back over here on this side because we're going to combine the two. We need space to work with. So noodles are going to go in that big pot. And I like a lot of color when I'm cooking. If you've seen my other dishes, you know I love to use parsley or basil. So we're gonna get some parsley and we're gonna chop that up. I love to use it for cooking, but I also love to use it for garnish. Sometimes people put like a large chunk of it. I really like to chop it up and throw it in there. It has good flavor, but it's not something you want like all at once in your mouth. Smells good, good limey flavor. I haven't tasted it yet, but I can really, really smell it. Okay, so we have our noodles in this big cooking bowl. Good color on our mushroom and parsley mix we got going on here. Turn the heat off. Throw them all together. Your best stirring spoon is probably going to be this wooden spoon here. And it's not a big heavy flavor, but it's pretty bold. I mean, it's light, but it tastes really, really good. And plus we have a lot of cheese going on over here, so we don't don't need another heavy flavor on top of heavy flavor, okay? All right, so we'll let this sit. Get this out of our way. I turn the heat all the way off on this. This is gonna take a little while. We're gonna pop it in the oven because we can leave it off the heat. And for the sake of time, I already have some prepared. All right, so it's been cooking about 15 minutes in the oven. Again, it's chicken. It's something you want to make sure is thoroughly cooked. So we're going to let it rest for just a second and we're going to start plating. I have a lot of requests that people love my pictures of food, but they want to see how I plate. For those of you that have been here during my little dinner parties or my weekend barbecues, everybody is just so curious and it's kind of like an art to me. So I'll try to get you in on it as much as possible. Get this out of the way. And of course, I'm having some red wine. It's a new wine that I got actually from Specs. It's a Merlot. It's from Washington State. Saw that it won a couple of awards. So I thought, grab a bottle of wine. You can't go wrong with a Merlot, right? So first step, find a cool plate. It can be any color that you want. I have lots of different plates. We have our parsley right here. I'm just gonna chop a little bit smaller. Get our pasta. And what I like to do is I'm just like twisting it in here so I can grab a nice little helping of it. And then drop it on the plate, twist it again, kind of making like a little nest. It's a little love nest of pasta because you're gonna love to eat it, and who doesn't love pasta? Drop some of these mushrooms on there so it gives it flavor, color. All right, our chicken has rested just a little bit. I'm gonna use a spatula to pick it up. I don't wanna use the tongs because for some reason they slip and I drop my chicken. I'm gonna be very, very sad. I'm glad that I made two, but we wanna avoid accidents at all costs. Your dish is gonna be hot, so make sure that you have some hot holders on hand. And of course, this was seasoned and cooked and stuffed all the same. Just wanted something to be ready so you could see the final dish in a decent amount of time. All right, so I have my dish looking pretty. Grab some of this parsley, sprinkle it around the top. Now some of you say, Z, that just wasn't enough cheese. I want a little bit more cheese. Okay, I'll let you have some more cheese. We can throw just a little bit of Parmesan on top of that pasta, okay? So we're gonna find some grated Parmesan. I'm the worst about putting stuff back where I found them, and it's my own refrigerator. Okay, so we're just gonna dust it on the top. This is super fine grated Parmesan, so I wanna be very careful with it because it'll just be a dust storm of cheese. All right, and your dish is finished. See, it didn't take that long. It was super easy to make. It's gonna be super delicious. And there's the finished product. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, give me your comments, your feedback. If there's something that you want me to make, you've been dying to try, you just don't know what the ingredients are, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, guys.